ladies and gentlemen of all ages, boys and girls. Thank you for tuning in to yet another episode of Angry Meat Production. We appreciate you coming in and letting us be a part of your lives week in and week out. We hope to do our best to present you with something that your eardrums delight in. Whether you're looking at us on YouTube or Rumble, or listening to us on Spotify, Google, or Anchor, or any of the other podcast services that we are currently on or trying to get on. We thank you. And if you don't mind, at the end of every episode, stop by, leave us a comment, leave us a like. If it asks for 5 stars, we'll take 5 stars, even if you don't like us. 5 stars are what it's all about. With that being said, we hope you enjoy our attempt to make our advocation our vocation. Ladies and gentlemen, let the games begin.
Welcome, Angry Faithful, on episode 95 of Nerd Sports. We're going to go in deep in the super secret sport of bar golf. Bar golf is basically you take shots. If you take, a shot of tequila, it's a hole in one. If you take, a beer, it's, a par 5. So
no, it's how many drinks it takes to finish that particular drink. So if you have like a par 1 would be 1 shot.
Yeah.
And then you have like a pint beer would be, say, a par 4, par 5.
Okay.
And then your goal is to finish the game with the lowest score.
Like his hook line, his intro is, we're gonna go in deep. It's like, okay.
Well, as deep as he can. Bless his heart. He does his best.
Hey,
inches are inches.
When I think about David doing carnal things, I remember that scene from Don't Mess with Zohan. When he's talking about it's not really that big. It's all the hair. It's about how you push.
We're just going to gloss over the whole you thinking about David doing carnal things. We're just glossing that over.
You have like a camera or something like that where it would be a disappointing camera because you're just going to see me masturbate all the fucking time. But, your hopes and dreams of seeing another world.
No, you're practicing.
I see David posting on like the T-Flop subreddit or something.
or that one photo.
You have an OnlyFans. You just don't know it. That's how you can afford your. That's how you can afford your YouTube Red.
How do you think I paid for this backdrop? Thank you.
I don't know. I do not know, honey. Not at all. I had no idea what you did. Or that one meme I sent to everybody. The one's like Victoria's Secret just hired a what was it? Fuck, I'm ruining this whole thing.
Oh, wasn't it their first downs?
Person with Down syndrome for Victoria's Secret.
I replied with that. Is this anything to do with EOF? And then I saw that David had looked at it, but there was a time gap there before he started typing.
Yeah,
and I was like, "That's equal opportunity fapping for you, David."
Well, I found an even better one. That was what was the even better one? That was what was really funny is I found an educational opportunity fund. So it kind of melds in there,
David has very progressive genitals. They do not discriminate.
No. Okay. Side note before we get into the whole sports stuff and everything. I was talking to a buddy of mine when I was working at a door and window place, and we were having this discussion of if it's like deplorable to have sex with a mentally challenged person. And he goes up, he's like, you know what? When I was in school, we had this mentally challenged person, and all she could do is like, nah, nah, nah. That was her speech. Well, apparent because of the small town and everything, one of the guys ended up having intercourse with her and impregnating her. Well, they didn't find this out for like years down the road, and they seen her like with a kid in the local Walmart, and she had like perfect grammar. And she carried on a sentence and carried on a conversation and everything. And they're like, so basically all she needed to do is to get laid to fix that shit. It was the weirdest shit I have ever heard. I was like, that I don't, because now well, you know how Kai is. I
You
take
remember
something
that
like that.
scene in Pen after
Huh?
Woody Harrelson sleeps with his landlady? He wakes up and it's those spider veins, and she's sitting on the toilet and she goes, I don't know what it is, but there's just something about good sex that knocks something loose.
Well, I tell the story to Kai as we're going up to the farmers market, and this manly handicap walks by us. It's like, Dave, here's your chance to do something good for the world. And I was like, Jesus fucking Christ, Kai. It's not good.
So what you're saying is it's a public service.
Basically.
Or whereas David is concerned, it's a crime against humanity.
I don't know. It just feels wrong to do that. I'm sorry. It's just
That's where you draw the line.
I fucking yes, that's where I fucking draw the goddamn fucking line.
Now we're starting to put limits on it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to take a deviation from the normal programming. I know that we do joke time with Colin towards the end of the night, but it is late. It's a little bit after 9, and he's got school tomorrow. So, with that being said, let's try to get the guy.
Okay, while I was getting him up, my thinking is this: because the person has like a childlike mind, to me, it's pedophilia.
No.
You're not wrong.
I'm going to stop you right there, Dave. Okay, there are hundreds of Democrats and celebrities who are not being prosecuted for the same crime that you're talking about committing.
True, it's not wrong.
Okay, how's it going today, Colin?
I'm confused about that question that you just heard.
Okay, so David led the show off talking about sex with mentally challenged individuals and how there was a small town and one of the guys slept with the local retarded girl and got her pregnant. Nobody knew about it, and a few years later she's got a kid, and now all of a sudden she speaks normal full sentences and enunciates all her words. And so basically David took himself out of the story, made him a girl.
What?
No, you're not following.
That no.
No,
It
we
felt
were just talking about
felt
the
like a
gender swap
deflection
for
for sure.
Brokeback Mountain. So I mean, I
It was
thought
one
it
of those I have a friend that this happened to kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay. Colin, you ready to go, bud?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I don't know what's going on here.
I think it's the first time I've seen you wear purple.
No. No. I like my shirt, whatever.
No, I said I think it's the first time I've seen you wear purple.
It's the second time. Anyways, digressing. So, from the darkest, coldest regions,
Hold on.
comes the hero that we don't need, but it's the hero that we deserve. Here for your enjoyment. Here to enlighten, to broaden your horizons, to test the depths of your depraved humanity and humor. It is my offspring, my genetic code. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, angry faithful, it is that time once again. I bring you Joke Time. with Colin. Dead air is never a good thing.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
they
I
do.
can go.
Yeah,
Yes.
you can go. I said joke time with Colin. That's your cue.
If you are white meat, why is Jeffrey Dahmer white?
Oh shit. Oh, oh fuck.
Oh,
Damn.
oh, fuck! That was, ladies and gentlemen. I think we have a
The
new.
difference between kids. Actually, I want.
I wasn't ready for the assignment on
I
that first joke.
was not ready at all.
Is Jake studying?
Yeah, he is. He is.
Ooh.
I want you to tell him this joke.
Yeah, well. Okay. Go. All right, go for it.
What's the difference between kids and cars? You can't fit 20 cars in a basement.
Oh,
God. Oh.
Oh.
holy crap, that was good.
Sweating over here. Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Oh.
you got this week, bud?
What's a Mexican's favorite sport?
Oh no. Oh no. All right. The views and humor reflected in the Joke Time with Colin segment do not directly reflect the views or opinions of Angry Me Production.
This. I'm not that person. Anyways,
I didn't hear it.
All right, Colin.
Oh.
I can't believe I'm about to say this. Start the joke again.
what's a Mexican's favorite sport? Cross country.
Oh my God.
Okay, so being that this is recorded for posterity,
Oh.
I gotta put my dad hat on for a second. Colin, ethnic jokes are not cool. Okay. Okay.
Ooh.
Oh boy. Okay, well, I'm gonna let you finish getting wound down for the night. Love you, bud. Give brother a hug for me. I'll call you guys later. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And just like that, everybody, Colin has climbed back on his steed, strapped into his rocket, and has flown back off into the darkest, deepest reaches of the coldest space where he obtains jokes like the one he just told. It has been my pleasure, nay, it has been my honor to present to you for your ear holes and eye holes, to feast upon, become soppy wet, and leave stains on the sheets. Joke time with Colin.
That
That
was
later.
that was an interesting one.
Oh, that Jeffrey Dahmer joke fucked me up.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
Oh,
one's gonna be hard to top.
Yeah.
Dude, that was the best delivery that he's had of a joke yet, too.
Yes, it has been.
Because he just right
He
on
just
it.
blew
He
it
got
out
up on the top rope and just gave us the elbow.
It
Doom.
was just an unzip and right
it was the flying burrito is what he delivered tonight.
100%.
Oh,
I'm impressed. I'm very impressed.
David, are you taking notes from any of these jokes to tell on stage during your bits?
Actually, I stopped doing open mics for a little bit. Only because,
Okay.
well, we have to do the show on Monday, and the Monday show for like next week can't do because I have to work. So I might do a like Thursday stuff up at a different place.
Okay.
But it's just really strange when you go there and you're doing an open mic and you're not getting a goddamn fucking chuckle or anything, and they're all comedians. So they're all judging you on your stuff. So you're not really getting, you don't know what's gonna hit and what's not gonna hit.
Ooh.
So you don't really know what jokes to actually use. So it's just one of those things. Like,
You that you would get a reaction with that Jeffrey Dahmer joke.
oh fuck yeah, you would.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah,
Get
100%.
a reaction.
Well, okay.
What that reaction will be may be up for grabs, but you'll get a reaction.
What's really sad is the best open mic that I have and I do is up at work. I mean, you got 12 hours to spend. You do like just recently. One of the coworkers were complaining that, we have a lot of work now. I'm like, well, good, because that means we're still going to be employed.
Exactly.
And she was like, well, it's just going to be a hassle. I was like, listen, for past 2 years, I was basically on that street corner, pouring myself out. And some of the people, it's not like glamour and everything like the Hollywood likes to make it, where everybody's just sexy, even though, they're paying for it. There are a lot of people you just like throw up a little bit and they're getting the ashes washed on their fucking dick. That being said, you might want to just, have a happy thought and just do your work. So,
Yeah. All right. Well, we're still a week away from the Super Bowl. And but
so are we going to go to NASCAR or are we going to go to
that's exactly where I'm going. Is NASCAR is back, everybody. They had the Busch Clash at the LA Coliseum over the weekend. Martin Truex Jr. won that one, which is a vast turnaround from last season. He went the entire season without a victory, which is the first time that's happened since he's, been a driver. But it's not so much the news from the Clash itself as the news that NASCAR has been making over the last couple of days.
well, no, there's actually some actual news.
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson is making a return to the Cup Series. He is a part owner.
That's not it.
I'm getting there. Calm your tits.
Temper thy bosoms, madam.
No.
Hakuna your tatas.
No.
I like that.
All right. So, anyways, the 7-time Cup Series champion Jimmy Johnson, who retired a few years ago to explore some opportunities in IndyCar, is now part owner with Richard Petty. And he's going to race at Daytona for the Daytona 500. He's also going to enter the Chicago Street Race. We'll see how that pans itself out. That's an interesting partnership that they've got going on there. And then, last season, the last ditch move that heard around the world, conducted by Ross Chastain, where he, took his steering wheel off the steering column and put an Xbox controller on there and acted like it was NASCAR Heat 2005.
Literally said, Jesus, take the wheel.
Yeah, rode the wall all the way around and put up a blistering lap to pass Denny Hamlin to transfer into the playoffs. NASCAR has said that move is now illegal. What I'm interested to see is, how are they going to know somebody's attempting to make that move? Because it tracks like Darlington. there's a term called the Darlington stripe, and it's been there since the track is open. The Darlington stripe comes from a car that goes up into the outside retaining wall and has a very distinctive stripe on the outside of the car.
If you come out of Darlington and your car isn't marked up, did you even really race?
Yeah, the same thing could be said for Bristol. But you know, so I'm gonna be slightly amused to see how NASCAR interprets that rule throughout the course of the year. Now, anybody who's ever watched NASCAR has understood that NASCAR and the word consistency really don't go hand in hand. It's going to be interesting to see how they set the precedent, the first time that they have to enforce that new rule. I just, there's going to be some changes to this car. Last year, this particular car was the first year that the car was on the track, and so 2022 was really more of a learning curve for everybody. I think that's the biggest reason why we had 19 different winners throughout the course of the season, which tied an all-time record for the number of winners over the course of a single season. As far as what NASCAR had set out for this car to do, which was to bring a lot of parity to the sport between the teams that have and the teams that have not. For example, Trackhouse Racing, owned by Justin Marks, he owns Ross Chastain's car. I think it was Daniel Suarez's car. They were a first year team basically, and they lit the world on fire last year, and even put Ross Chastain in the championship 4, which nobody really saw coming. You started to see kind of like what more or less became kind of a predictable fall off for Joe Gibbs Racing out of the Toyota camps. Toyota's talking about this year they're going to try to lure some more teams over to the Toyota side. Don't get me wrong, Toyota they've got a pretty good Cup program. They got a really, a pretty decent Xfinity Series program. The thing about TRD, which is Toyota Racing Development, they produce all the engines that the Toyota teams use. So if you run a Toyota in either, any of the 3 series, the trucks, the Xfinity, or the Cup, you get your engines from TRD. Any of the R&D development, things like that, as far as like the car goes or the trucks go, all of that stuff's coming out of Toyota as a manufacturer itself. I kind of like that model. I think that it streamlines the costs a little bit for the teams that use that manufacturer badge. But over the off season, NASCAR was trying to work a deal to bring Dodge back into the sport. And
yeah, but Dodge is going on a total different. It's weird because they just announced a couple of days ago that like the Dodge Challenger and the Dodge fucking hell, Dodge Challenger and the other one with the C
Charger.
They're going to EV.
26% APR. Yeah.
Which is fucking
they
ridiculous.
they are not going to manufacture either of those anymore.
Yeah.
But privates all over the world are screaming in constant.
Well, they stopped making them for a while, anyways.
Well, when they brought back the Charger, they brought it back as a family car.
Yeah.
And then they
brought it back as
they kept it as a 4-door sedan, but they put a Hellcat engine in it. And
no, they put a Hemi. They just put a Hemi. It wasn't a Hellcat engine.
There's a Hellcat.
Is it?
There's a Hellcat model.
Oh
yeah. In fact, Dodge, for both of those cars, has a Red Key program. You have to take a training course through a Dodge dealership in order to qualify or to be licensed by Dodge Chrysler. to have a red key fob. What this does is it electronically advances the timing in the engine, and it unlocks probably about, I think, if I remember correctly, somewhere to the tune of an extra 100 or so horsepower.
Jesus,
Something like that.
I would do it.
So just know that if you go and you think you're spending out all this money to get that Hellcat, and they hand you a black key fob,
He's wasting
you're
money.
a basic bitch who got suckered. So I mean, if you're going to spend that money, you might as well spend the check. Spend a little bit of extra money and take the training course and go get the red key. Now, I don't want to be responsible for paying your insurance, but hey, you do you, boo.
No,
Yeah.
I would keep the black fob, and I will find a way to change it. And I
Without
know
quitting the
people.
warranty, but hey, good luck.
Yep.
But there is actually other
It's like
news.
jailbreaking your iPhone.
NASCAR was talking to Dodge, and the numbers were I mean, they weren't terribly far apart, but NASCAR started dictating to Dodge, hey, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you're going to do this. And Dodge was like, no, we're good. And then they walked away from the table. And that had a lot of people like really upset because, you got Chevy, Ford, and Toyota, and NASCAR's kind of, in a way, really, to a lot of fans, has lost its way. I mean, they're branching out.
A shell of its former self.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's a shell of its former self. It's all about the TV ratings, which drive the sport, which brings in revenue. I get it. But they did, when they introduced the stage racing, there's not a lot of fans of it. But NASCAR did announce this year that the road courses will not have stage breaks.
That is correct.
So, that's going to make, for some interesting scenarios come that first road race where, the driver's expecting to see that green and white checker that signifies the end of a normal stage. And then he takes his foot off the gas and loses a ton of positions. I don't know. We'll see what happens with it. Chris, if you're anything like me, I grew up watching NASCAR.
Oh, hell yeah.
And it's I've yet to see this new car in person, but I mean, with some of the packages that they've brought to the track as far as aero is concerned, like the intermediate tracks, short tracks, it looks boring.
Yeah.
I mean, even at the super speedway tracks like Talladega and Daytona, it's just everybody's just content to ride in line. And I don't know. I mean, I thought that NASCAR was hitting on something whenever they introduced those composite bodies for the Xfinity cars, where they could bounce off the wall and they could take a couple of licks and, they would be good.
See, it's almost like they went the way of the NFL, and I say that in that they talk about driver safety, which I'm not knocking at all. Driver safety is paramount as well as with player safety, but there is a happy medium to get both. You get the excitement still without taking away the safety of either of them. And it just feels like they've gone way too far. The pendulum has swung completely towards safety and has taken all the excitement out of it.
Well, they talk about driver safety and everything like that, and with concussion protocols coming to the forefront of the sport, with those efforts being spearheaded by people like Dale Earnhardt Jr. I mean, Kurt Busch, he ended his career on terms that he wouldn't have normally agreed to because of concussions. Alex Bowman stepped out of the car for most of the season last year and missed the playoffs as a driver. He qualified for the playoffs by virtue of a win, but he didn't get to race in the playoffs because he had to step out of the car because he was suffering from concussion symptoms. And it
Right.
seems like, and you heard a lot of it from Kevin Harvick last year, where, which, by the way, this is Kevin Harvick's swan song. This is his retirement season. This is his farewell tour this year. But, it was just kind of, they talk about this car was supposed to be for cost savings. It was supposed to bring parity to the sport. It was supposed to be a safer car. I've seen the underside of this car more last season than I did the underside of a car, underside of the cars for the 2 seasons prior. The drivers are getting hurt in the cars. I mean, when they're taking, they're hitting
it-
wall, getting hit.
Well,
They're-
the cars are getting lighter and lighter too. Like I understand that they're getting more safety things in there too, but like I said, they're getting lighter and lighter.
Is
And
this the same? Is
you're
this the same
losing
reason,
these.
like with the new football helmets from the NFL?
Yeah, see, the thing about sports in general is that just like with everything else, it has a progression, an evolution, if you will, where you can make materials lighter, you can make them stronger, but you're making, like with the NFL, the players are getting faster, the players are getting stronger, and you're giving them lighter pads that can sustain more, that can, that have a sustainable shelf life. You're basically turning the pads into a weapon,
Yeah.
and the impacts are getting harder. And I don't know if it's because they're so focused on concussion protocols now, especially with the NFL, but it seemed like you're starting to see more and more players being escorted into that blue tent on the sidelines during the course of a game. You're seeing more and more drivers stepping out of the car. With the introduction of the Hans device after Dale Earnhardt Sr. passed away in 2001, it really brought an end to things like the whiplash and the internal decapitations. When you started introducing the newer seat, that eliminated a lot of that side to side and lateral movement, as far as the drivers were concerned. And the only thing that I'll say about the car of tomorrow, or the COT, you remember the COT, Chris? They had that big stupid wing on the back.
Yes.
The only thing that I liked, the couple of things that I liked about that car was the splitter on the front, and the fact that they put those big foam cells on the side of the cage, side of the roll. Now, they've thinned those down for this car. They've kept the splitter, but the splitter is now an integrated part of an overall shelf at the bottom of that car. Because you remember when the car flipped over, it was solid, right? It looked like yeah, and then they started talking about fires breaking out in the car because where the brake ducts were, for the air to come in and go through the hoses to cool the brakes. Well, right there on the grill, there was an opening. Rubber debris from the tires was kicking off the track and getting trapped because there was a bar there.
Right. And it was building up there.
Ballast. Yeah. So the rubber was getting trapped on the back side of that, and it was catching fire.
Yep.
And it was boiling the brake fluid in the lines and causing the brake calipers to explode.
Yeah, we talked about that last season. How
Yeah,
many?
we did.
Yeah.
Because these cars are able to go faster. Fuel injected as opposed to carbureted, so they don't have the need for a
Air intake
filter plate, like they did with the carbureted engines.
Right.
They have ways of dialing down the horsepower and everything like that to bring the speeds down. But with as aero dependent as these cars are, you're seeing more and more cars get together, and they're still getting north of 200 miles an hour. So the thing about NASCAR trying to make these cars safer is that, as vanilla as you may try to make the sport, the product on the track, the guys that are in the shop and the guys that are behind the wheel, ultimately at the end of the day, they are racers, and racers to a T are, they're going to look for everything that they can to make speed, to gain that advantage that is within the rules.
Yeah.
I mean, you remember,
and even skirting right on the edge of it too.
It was the 90. I don't know if you remember this or not, but it was the 1998 All-Star race.
Mhm.
Jeff Gordon brought the T-Rex Jurassic Park car.
Yes.
And he absolutely whipped the field, right? NASCAR took the car, tore it apart. Nothing broke the rules, but it pushed the envelope.
Right.
NASCAR came back to Ray Evernham, who was his crew chief at the time, and said, "We're not going to fine you for this car. Just don't fucking bring it back to the track." And the following week, everything that they had done to that car was now illegal.
Yep.
So, there's a lot of give and take. Darrell Waltrip, he used to call it ingenuity. And I mean, all the legends of the sport back in the day, I mean, they were cheating.
What look at the genesis of what NASCAR was. These guys were fucking moonshiners. Yeah.
Yeah.
These were bootleggers. Like they thrived on.
I mean, that's a photo of a rat racer from when they probably actually had moonshiners back in the day that was like souped up, which was a badass car.
Yeah.
And for those of you who are listening, don't get moonshiners confused with that beta bullshit reality TV show that that they try to throw on TV. What's his not Popcorn. He was a legitimate moonshiner.
You're talking about oh god, there's Tickle and Tim. Tim went legit, and everybody hated him.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about Tickle.
But Tickle.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you got that name from a trailer park.
He didn't get it in trailer park. He got that nickname in jail. Let's be honest.
Yeah, exactly. Are you trying to tell me that you've got camera crews following you around to these stills and you're making them accomplices to a felony?
Yeah. Well, and then they have a camera crew that follows the cops around that are trying to catch them too.
Yeah, and like
chase cars and shit while they're
right on there.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, you don't think that producer's going, "Hey man, Tickle's got himself a still out in the woods."
We know the location and everything.
We got that shit plugged in with GPS. More, I'll tell you, we get out there, and you know that there's some judge sitting back going, "Man, I wish these dudes come in my courtroom. I'd issue subpoenas all left and right."
Right.
Boy, sit your ass down.
Or you have a judge like, I'd let them go as long as they give me a couple of cases.
Supposedly they did a behind the scenes one on the show, and they were saying that because somebody had brought that up and asked them, and they're like, well, since we can't prove that what's coming out is actually alcohol, it could be water. You never know. It was like, they're like, yeah, it's completely legal. We can't actually, because
so they're taking mason jars full of water and going, yeah,
dude, they're spitting it into the fire and it's going. But you can't prove it's moonshine. Okay, dude.
But we actually have some other news in NASCAR. NASCAR driver Kyle Busch arrested in Mexico in January for handgun possession. This is actually
it was a snub-nosed 38, and he had hollow points in the cylinder, and because him and his wife were on vacation in Cancun, and he took the weapon with him for family protection. I don't blame the guy.
I was going to say.
I understand that, different country, different rules, blah, 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 AKA Q, Brittany Griner or Brian Griner. I mean, because face it, Brittany's a dude. I mean, come on.
Yeah, that's-
I mean, just like Michelle Obama's Michael Obama. I mean, come on. I mean, when the first lady is packing a bigger package, bigger bulge under her dress than he is in his tux. I mean, seriously.
hard to argue.
Tell me, Barack he wasn't a bottom. I mean, come on, man.
I'm not even a power bottom at that.
I mean,
Not a Chris
he was
Bottom,
catcher.
though.
He was a catcher all day, and she was the ace of the pitching staff. That's just all I'm going to say.
She was the Nolan Ryan of that fucking bedroom. There's no doubt about
I'm telling you. But God dang. 'Cause you never saw any photos of her pregnant. Period.
it. That's a good point.
Just
I
saying.
like how Johnny gets pissed off for us getting off topic, and he does it almost every time when we're talking like politics or
I don't
something.
get pissed.
See, when he does it though,
No, I don't
see,
want this
when we do it, it's tragic.
equivocally.
Yeah.
I want to unequivocally put to rest any false information that David Dickerman is trying to put out.
You just fake news us.
You know,
He just fucking fake news us.
what David is putting out is fake news. Okay. I am just as culpable. That's just as responsible in layman's
is-
terms from you, David.
Just because you have to tell the squadron what the hell the words you're using doesn't mean you have to do that to me every time.
Squadron. No, he's telling you. I know what it means.
Squadron.
I said platoon. Did I?
No,
No,
you
you-
said squadron.
Fucking hell. See, I can't
God
fucking
damn
do
it.
anything right.
Fucking Skyjackers, man. I'm telling you.
Why? Why do you have to be the odd one out all the fucking time?
Because I was actually in, a rep.
The only reason that we actually like to have you around, David, is because you're not the Coast Guard.
See, at least you were a military branch. Like, I'll give you that. Sort of. Mostly. Kind of.
Y'all still pissed off that anytime I would go overseas to a TDY station, I would get like a swag bag. I'd get like a new Leatherman, new backpack, new camel pack. Every
They're
fucking time.
called for people like you, David. They're called fobbits.
Yeah.
You get all the high-speed gear because you want to look cool, but you're out there really sweating your ass off because you're wearing an extra 20 pounds.
That's why we make do with
was
less. 'Cause
probably
We don't
that
want to
guy
fucking
that-
carry it.
When he would go overseas, he would wear like the shoulder armor.
Fucking, what were they? The fucking pauldrons or whatever you call them?
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking back plates and all that shit.
One of those things is like, how can you look high speed without being high speed, everybody?
Look, no, as a gunner,
Not high speed when you're carrying all that
back
shit. Trust me.
Fuck no.
as a gunner, back plates are the shit. I'm just saying.
Of course, I'm saying I was mechanized, so I didn't have to carry any of that shit anyway. So
Dude, you're like the
my
donkey
back
fucking-
plate was the entire fucking vehicle.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. You're like ting ting.
You hear that? No, neither do I. Drive on. Mission first, safety always.
Eli was talking about that.
Death before dismount.
Eli was talking about that on Undescribed at one point in time that because they got new hearing protection and they were taking pop shots at him and he couldn't fucking hear the stuff going and someone had to like drag him down. He's like, "You're getting shot at, motherfucker."
Oh, hey. How about that?
Oh, all right.
At least, this shit, it works. It's not like that 3M stuff.
Yeah. Well, at least none of us as a group goes out to a range in full kit. I mean, anybody that does that is just a sad individual. Right, Johnny?
I never wore a helmet, so I don't know what the fuck.
Fuck you. Okay. I didn't wear a helmet. I wore a
No,
You wore everything else, but not
You
the helmet.
said you said full kit.
You know
so
what?
you
I
either are full
apologize.
kit or You're not full kit. It's like being pregnant, David. You either are or you're not. It's like being screwed when you're retarded. You're either smart and coherent or you're Forrest Gump.
Okay. Okay. We'll go with that. So you're a little bit happier with
No,
that.
hey,
You
yes.
know,
So, Chris,
whatever
to
makes you
clarify-
happy and less
to
like
clarify, Chris,
like a bro.
the
bro vet.
incessant dribble that's coming out of that hole under his nose, connected to that lump 3 feet above his ass. I would wear a plate carrier with all my magazines to the fucking range because I didn't want to carry everything in a bag.
Okay, see, this is the plate carrier though. Like, that's what's wrong with carry? It's a plate
Dude,
carrier.
he
You
had
still got to be able to listen. You got to. It's train like you fight, fight like you train, right?
Yeah, I mean, yes, I have 2 IFACs on there.
So you're going to be. I'm
he
saying.
had gloves on. It was
Okay.
basically, you know, we took infantrymen and just brought them out without the fucking helmet. That's what happened. And I'm sitting over there. It's like, what are you doing, dude?
Have you not seen any of the videos that our guys take when they're at the range?
Yeah, I seen a guy that had like a full, like medieval type helmet shooting at the
But it's
range.
cool if they do it, but when I do it, no,
It's just sad and pathetic because you're not making any money off of it.
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
nobody signed up for this job because of the money, David.
I know, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
just mad because it looks better.
Unlike you, we weren't promised $5,000, a roll of fucking lifesavers and a pat on the back and, you know, some crushed Lucky Strike butts. I mean, seriously.
Okay, yeah, I'm kind of upset about that.
You guys got paid?
Y'all got treated like shit. Y'all still doing this stuff? What the hell? Let me put my pinky up on that one.
Yeah. Oh, you only knew.
Savages.
Go home, Joe Dirt.
Hell, it's like after 9/11 when I got deployed. There's people like sleeping up at the airport. And we were like, so we're just gonna stay up at the airport. No, we're gonna get at a hotel. Why are they staying? It was like, because they're probably Army. We're gonna go and get us a hotel.
I used to have in my room, Chris. I used to have this poster, and it was an infantryman in a foxhole that was filling with water, and it says, "This sucks," right? Then you got a ranger who's, you know, I mean, the rain's coming in sideways, and he goes, "I like the way this sucks." And then you got a Green Beret, you know, that cool like recruitment poster shot where all you see is his eyes in the front sight post, and he goes, "I wish more." And you got an airman in a recliner whacking the remote on the arm, and there's white noise on the screen. He goes, "This sucks."
I hadn't heard that joke in a while.
Cables out. That sucks.
Yeah, it was a
No.
poster. They used to sell it at the Don F. Pratt Museum at Fort Campbell.
I
thought it was
Private
hilarious.
Murphy. Private Murphy did a comic about that too.
Yeah.
Yeah, he drew that poster. Yeah. I remember that. Good
So
time.
are we gonna get into baseball news? Did they change some stuff?
Oh, we had one last rule change on the NASCAR.
Oh, okay, go get
Was
it.
the playoff change.
Oh yeah.
Go for it. Yeah.
Yeah. So they have taken away, basically, you do not have to be in the top 30 anymore in order to make the playoffs. But you will have to, if you've won at least one race, you're automatically in as long as you have run the entire season or have an approved waiver. And that's the top 30 for
it's
the.
not like I can blame Brian France for this one because he's not at the helm anymore.
Yeah, I don't get that one. I'm going to be real honest with you. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, that's
one of these everybody gets a trophy kind of feel to it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, there's going to be some new rules for the upcoming baseball season.
Outstanding.
There's going to be a pitch timer. 15
I don't know how I
seconds.
feel about that.
Yeah, well, kind of
Are
in a
they
way.
are they doing the same thing as the NFL? Is like for
It's not like
Well,
a play clock per se.
They started doing it in the minors.
Well, yeah, they started doing it in the minors. Now, the reason why they're trying to like do this, I think they're going to experiment with it in the spring, but it's 15 seconds between pitches, or no more than 15 seconds in between pitches with the bases empty, and 20 seconds with runners on. They're going to limit the amount of the shifts, which I like.
No, they took defensive
I've
shifts
always
away.
thought that the shift was stupid.
Yeah.
Um,
But they also the pickoff
the
attempts.
bases are bigger. Yeah, the bases are bigger now.
15 to 18 inches.
Yeah, and it reduces the distance between first and second, and second to third by 4.5 inches.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot.
The distance between between the corners and home plate is now down by 3 inches. And
So
I'm
why
like,
don't they just give like participation trophies?
well, Rob Manfred, he is doing everything he can to destroy this game. I swear to God, he must have like dirt on every owner because they keep voting to extend this ass. I mean, they keep voting.
He has to have something that basically sets it up to where he doesn't.
It's like the running joke that Ryan Brazier has not been designated for assignment because he has dirt on the owners. And I'm like, but I mean, okay, so with the pitch timer, so what is it here? The pitch timer is they're trying to cut down the length of the games, and I'm like, everybody bitches about a baseball game taking 3.5, almost 4 hours. You go to an NFL game and the regulation time is 60 minutes and it takes 3 fucking hours to play.
Yeah.
But nobody bitches about football, the length of the games will still be determined by innings and not minutes, but to create a better, faster pace, there'll be 30-second timer in between batters, and then a shorter time limit in between pitches. Pitchers are going to be required to begin their motion 15 seconds after receiving the ball with the bases empty, or 20 seconds after receiving the ball with the runners on base. If they don't, they will be charged with an automatic ball.
How the fuck is that?
But the batters also
these guys that sit there and they take their hats off, tuck their gloves up underneath their sleeves, and they're sitting there rubbing the ball, and they're just, they're fiddling with everything, and they're sitting there just debating.
Yeah, okay.
I'm just like, okay, look, you're not Gaylord Perry. Fucking throw the ball. I mean, I get it.
But the batter also has to be in the box and attentive to the pitcher with at least 8 seconds left on his clock, or he's charged with an automatic strike.
Yeah. Now, pitchers are also going to be limited to 2 disengagements from the mound. So like pickoff attempts or step offs per plate appearance with a runner on first. The disengagements reset the clock. Okay. So I think that's going to help base stealing numbers go up a little bit. Because if you're only going to be able to throw over once or twice per plate appearance, after that second disengagement, runner's going.
Yeah, you have automatic green light right there.
Yeah. So, shift restrictions, the defensive team must have a minimum of 4 players on the infield with at least 2 infielders completely on either side of second base. These restrictions are intended to increase the batting average on balls in play and allow infielders to better showcase their athleticism with defensive plays. So, instead of having a second baseman way out playing like mid-depth outfield, and you've got the whole infield over on one side of the base or the other. I mean, I think we're going to start seeing is we're going to start getting to an era when we play more straight up. And to me that's more pure than Joe Madden, not John Madden, but Joe Madden. He used to manage the Rays, and then he went and won the World Series with the Cubs. But he loved defensive shifts when he was in Tampa Bay, and yeah, it became a bigger and bigger problem. I mean, I know that you're going to get those people that are pro shift that are like, well, if a hitter is really a hitter, he's going to learn to hit the other way. Well, these are professional hitters, and they can hit to every part of the ballpark. They can spray the ball around. But when it just, and that's why, like, you remember last year, the year before, it seemed like everybody was throwing a no-hitter.
Mm-hmm.
And it
No,
was
it
because
was
a lot of it was because
dramatically.
a lot of it was because of the shifts.
Yep.
So I'm like, all right. I think what this is really starting to do is it's starting to reshift the emphasis back to pitcher versus hitter.
Yes.
And I'm for that. Now, with the bigger bases, they've been expanded from 15 inches on each side to 18 inches. Home plate's going to stay the same. Because let's face it, umpires like Angel Hernandez don't need any help with the strike zone. Primary reason why they're making the bases bigger is because of safety. Now, what it does is it gives runners and fielders more room to operate without colliding. So, I mean, it was that whole no contact, having to, because they first introduced like the neighborhood rule where you didn't necessarily have to make contact with second base if you were a shortstop trying to make the throw down for a second, for a double play. And then they were like, no, you have to maintain contact on the bag. But then people started spiking everybody, i.e. Manny Machado spiking Dustin Pedroia and basically ruining his career. Biggest douchebag in the world. I'll be happy if that guy never wins a World Series. That's all there is to it. That's why in 2018, I loved it when Chris Sale struck him out to win the World Series for the Red Sox. I mean, he's such a douchebag that when he struck out, he even made a K with his body. So, I mean, just thought that was, anyway. But it's going to help runners with the stolen base attempts, in the quote unquote bang bang play where, it's like, you're trying to gun a runner down at first, from deep in the hole down like short and third. And I mean, it's boom, boom, right? So, I mean, it's gonna help with that a lot. You're not going to see so many of these slowed down frame by frame replays like they had in the ALCS when I think it was Jose Altuve beat out a throw by a cunt hair, so
Right.
Now they said that these rules are going to go into effect for spring training, to provide an adjustment period before opening day this year. Umpires have been instructed to begin calling violations with no grace period, so they're right out the bat, like, call it as the standards laid out in the new rule book from day one of spring training going forward. They're also going to be enforced during the postseason, but the new rules will not be used during the World Baseball Classic, which I think is nice. I'm not sold on the bigger bases. I'm not even sure I'm sold on the pitch timer. I mean, there are some pitchers out there that they just operate painfully slow.
Right.
But the shifts, the reduction of the shift limits, I am all for that.
I think you're going to see a bigger impact with the shift limits than the pitch timer.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't, and I don't know that making the bases bigger by 3 inches is going to make much of a difference. I mean, I guess for comparison, we just need to find out where some of these women that David has dated and ask them if 3 inches is a big deal.
It is a big deal. You need to shut the fuck up.
Yeah, when you're missing that extra 3, it's a big deal.
Yeah. I mean, it just means I have to do a little bit of extra than most people don't. I'm putting in more work than everybody else. So fuck
He's
off.
getting a solid yard, 3 inches at a time. So fuck you.
Yeah. God.
Look, it's like having shorter legs. You just got to take more steps.
Yeah, exactly.
Move your legs a little faster. That's it.
You're in the land of the little people now.
You know what's really sad? I'm really getting.
Hello, the yellow brick road.
You know what's really sad is I'm really getting into the slap
Remember
fighting.
the lollipop yell?
I'm really getting into the slap fighting as an actual sport.
Yeah, Dana White goes to a lot of those.
Well, no, he doesn't go to a lot of them. He owns them now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay,
He
yeah.
fucking bought them.
Hell,
And what's funny is
Black
you're starting
Rifle
to
Coffee
see-
is a sponsor of one of them.
Yeah.
You're gonna see more and more guys walking around like Muhammad Ali before he died, and they're gonna be drooling all over themselves and shaking.
Oh no, it's already happening, dude. I'm watching this one.
And we are back at the barrel.
Oh, let me send this to you
Yeah.
because
It's funny because Dana has started bringing some of the UFC fighters in to do.
Oh,
slap
yeah.
fights with these guys.
dude, there was
And
one.
they are just obliterating them. It's not even
It's not
funny.
even obliteration. It is literally a.
Like they could almost be charged with assault there. Like it's so
You can literally you can hear the Windows theme. Do 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 do.
It's
It is so hilarious. Look at this guy's left cheek, and you'll see that it's like, and this isn't the big one that I'll find the big one.
oh yeah. I
This-
know. I
The
this
was-
barrel
guy-
with our featured fight of the evening. This is a 10-round fight between Baby Ray and the Bayou Bastard. The Bayou Bastard is our super fan, Ricky.
His
And he
face.
has won 3
Yes.
of his last 4
Yes.
fights and has specifically requested a top 10 opponent. So this is Ricky's opportunity. And he has won the coin toss, so he will slap first. And here's
Yeah. What I
Stumbled the guy.
they actually put in a
like flipping a switch, man.
yeah.
Ray, he's a little confused by what's happening here.
Under fucking statement of the century right there.
Yeah, dude, and
That
it
dude
is-
didn't even know what planet
like-
he's on.
And tonight he's fighting the Bayou Bastard. And I can't help
He forgot his name and everything.
Mhm. Okay, yeah. I found it. I found it. Let me send it. to you.
This fucking guy.
I'll send it to Chris so he knows what I'm talking about, too. I should just send it to the group. But no, dude, it's looking at their technique, like the guy that you just saw, he goes, a lot of them go like just straight out. He was going under, and he was getting that whip action.
Oh yeah, no, I saw that guy's face. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like these dudes are blowing out eardrums.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's the reason
Oh,
why
yeah.
they put like cotton swab and shit in their ears so they don't do that. But yeah, they're blowing out eardrums, and it's literally a sport that anybody can play. I've seen some like fucked up matches to where the guy, I looked at him and was like, dude, you're gonna get knocked the fuck out. I mean, you seriously are gonna get knocked the fuck out.
Did you see the one with? And this was to be polite. They were the little people. But it was 2 midgets.
Oh yeah. I've seen them. In
And he fucking, the one dude swung and he hit, and the guy like just fucking ate it. He just looked at it, and then you could just see the light die in his eyes. He's like, damn, man, I just hit you as hard as I, and you even see it in his face. It's like, nothing.
like, really?
Yeah.
But yeah,
then- And then the other dude just, fucking.
I like
laid
the
it. It
ones
so bad.
where they got knocked the fuck out, so senseless. They start doing like cartwheels and shit.
Yes.
It's
I want to
seriously
know.
wanna
I want to know what liquor the guys that decided they were sitting down one night getting.
Dude, I used to do this
hammered.
as a kid when I was in
Oh.
junior high.
Oh no, fuck.
I mean, no, because this started out as like a Russian thing. Like you
I was
started
gonna say
seeing-
it started in Russia, so
Yeah, they went
Right.
pro like
I mean,
in Russia.
was it like a Peter Eastman or a Kevin Eastman and Peter Layard, kind of a thing, where they were sitting around one night watching SpongeBob getting hammered, going, "We can do better than that." And they came up with the Turtles. I mean, what? I mean, what
Well,
proof
okay.
of skill were they drinking when they decided, "I got a great idea. We're going to bring this to America." I mean,
Okay. You make fun of it as much as you want, but after watching like constantly, I start seeing like the strategic of it. I mean, a lot of them like they'll dip their heads down. They'll dip their heads down. I mean, they have to hold on something in the back so they can't like, flinch or block or anything like that. But you see like their routine, they do the 3 setup and everything. They make sure they just get that jawline. And sometimes they'll go up, sometimes they'll just I haven't seen the smack down, but I've seen like the side and the smack up. I mean, you get the smack
I
up,
saw
you get
it
like a
yesterday.
little bit of whip.
Saw a video yesterday. This guy, he just needed a line of shot up, and then he just bam and knocked the dude out smooth.
Yeah.
Like they had to catch him from so he didn't bounce his head off the floor. I mean, like, and the guy's just like, completely out.
I think it was an MMA fighter.
and he's it's
Because I seen that one.
what kills me on this is that 30-second recovery time that they get. 'Cause
Yes, they're
they're
not recovering
flopping
on
around
30
like
seconds.
you just landed a fucking bass, and they're just flopping around the bottom of the boat. And it's
Yeah.
like, well, you think he's still like, bro? Look at his eyes. There is nothing behind those eyes. And then he stands up. He like can't even stand up straight in the square. And he's like, "Whoa!"
Those are the
within
cartwheel
square.
ones
Like,
I love
yeah,
watching.
line him back up. He's good to go. He's in the circle.
I've seen
He's
I've
dead.
seen a
He's
couple of them.
literally dead. This is Weekend at Bernie's right now.
Well,
I've
there's
had
one
enough
that was
concussions to know that I get a headache just watching that shit.
Oh yeah.
Right? Exactly.
Dude,
Come on.
I've seen them like prop them up, and as soon as they prop them up, they're like he's getting ready. I was like, they're getting him ready. He's getting ready. He's like, he's got his 30 seconds. He's just like, he's just like, boo.
We just need somebody in the
And
back.
it's the commentators on there when he's doing that. It's the commentators crack me the fuck up.
The dude's out, but he's
They're like, you think he's gonna, he's coming back around. You kind of seeing some life back in him. I'm like, no, the fuck you don't.
there's
No, you don't.
Clearly, they stand him up and the lights are still not on.
Exactly.
I mean, at some point we're gonna get some guy that he's gonna win like 7 slap fighting championships.
Oh yeah,
And they're gonna
they
call
already
him,
have guys like that though. I think
It's gonna be who is the boxer from The Simpsons? What was his name? Tate?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's you're gonna see that in about 2 years.
I mean, to me, slap fighting is the more masculine version of curling.
I don't know, dude. I mean, I've seen him.
Slap fighting is going to become an Olympic sport, and you're going to get these dudes in a bar somewhere in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, going, "I could beat that guy."
But yeah, that's one thing that I really like about this is you could be like a bar guy, and you just go up and it's like bowling.
We literally have a movie about this.
Well, Over the Top?
Basketball.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dude. Yes. That is the most apt description that I have ever heard. Yes.
Yes.
I mean, in a world full of
I mean,
mediocrity,
even a squirrel gets a nut every once in a while. Johnny got one.
and, mandatory fun day ribbons.
This is the basketball of
Yeah,
Olympic.
slap fighting championships is the basketball of MMA.
Yes.
I can't wait
There's
because I've
your
already
slogan.
seen Eddie do it. The world's strongest man. He's done a slap fight once. I want to see Thorson. I want
Yeah.
Can you imagine the two of them going up against each other?
dude, I want to see Game and Throws Part 2 with the mountain just boom, and the head just explodes.
But remember, Eddie beat the mountain. He beat him out in the strongman.
Okay, yeah, but still, I still want to see.
Can you
Game
imagine the two of
them?
I'm saying, can you imagine the two of them fucking going up against each other?
Okay.
Lord.
Here's the thing. Here you got two
The
rims of
calluses alone are level 2 trauma plates. Okay.
fuck.
I mean, you ain't wrong. That's for sure.
Yeah. Could you imagine the
God damn it.
I want to see someone make a movie, a slap fighting, like over the top style.
Yes. Yeah, 100%. And I want it to be
I want
Sylvester Stallone.
montage of
I
him
want it to be
hitting
Sylvester
like
Stallone.
plates or some shit like that. Dude, we are writing this shit.
Sylvester Stallone's gonna have the cameo, right? Like he's not in the slap fighting, but he's reprising his role and he's delivering the stage.
Yes, absolutely.
I want him to be a commentator.
Commentator.
I want him.
That's even better.
and-
That's even better. And we got to have, we can't have him because Jerry the King Lawler's dead. JR from WWE.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a slobber knocker.
Yeah.
Stone Cold. Stone Cold. He's got that cerebral palsy. Hey, I'm not making fun of the guy, but I'm just saying, Stone Cold.
Oh, 100%. Oh God, that would be great.
I think we made of everybody with any kind of disability on this one.
No, see,
Is there anybody that we left out?
Now we're gonna have like a clip from me saying that, and Stone Cold's gonna stitch it on his TikTok page, and he's gonna be like, "You son bitch." I'd be like, "I promised I wouldn't cry." Stone Cold called me son bitch.
He called me so bitch.
It's gonna be on his
It's gonna be on my headstone.
yeah.
Stone Cold
They're,
called me
like
son
recording
bitch.
on repeat on his
Called him
headstone.
a son bitch.
Or do that, the like sound wave tattoo that they have, but it'd be Stone Cold's voice
Yes.
saying "son bitch." There you go.
Yes.
That's your fucking tattoo right there.
Son bitch. Yep. Yeah. Yes. God. What
So
a-
we're gonna start
Actually,
doing
that's a
research
really
on
good
this.
idea. Like, I'm not gonna lie, that's actually a great idea.
That would be a good idea.
Or it's a QR code, right? And it takes you to a clip, a YouTube clip of him calling him son bitch. There you go, right?
So now you've just made it a competition to see who could get Stone Cold to call them a son bitch first.
Yes,
Game on.
absolutely.
Game fucking on.
Oh, Crushed Skull IPA tastes like
Cri-
warm piss.
Chris has got a like a little bit of a leeway with us.
How
Crushed
so?
Skull tastes. If I had to classify,
Oh, if you don't know the
Crushed
connections,
Skull
I got
IPA,
the connections, and I'll make them.
You
if
probably
I
have
had to
better connections
classify
than
what kind of person drinks Crushed Skull IPA,
IPAs in general. Those are for fucking.
yeah, IPAs in general. I mean, it's for those hipsters that weren't quite loved enough by their daddy, but loved a little bit too much by their mother, and in one bad day away from going full on cut myself emo.
Yeah, because the real men actually drink Pats.
Pawtucket Pats? You betcha.
Pawtucket Pats.
Fucking hell. Can't get any kind of fucking leeway with you, motherfucker. Blue
Oh,
ribbon, fucking.
It's
Pats.
amazing to me how you're still surprised after all this time.
You know,
Hello, David. We've met.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Just once or twice.
fuck you guys. Anyways, I guess that's the end of the show. Went on a note that
I believe we hit
David
all the high points or low points,
Yeah.
as it were.
and David takes a couple of hits in the eye.
That would
Thanks,
mean that
guys.
there's a middle ground somewhere.
Oh, we found the low ground a couple of times here. That's for sure.
Yeah, early in the show, this episode.
Over, David.
pretty much-
I have the high ground. It's over, David.
All right, everybody. This is Nerd Sports, episode 95. We got 5 more, and we'll make it to 100.
Woo.
I don't know if we're gonna do anything special, but I'm David Dickerman,
I'm Johnny
Oh.
Skelton.
And I am Chris Jacka.
and thank you all for watching, listening, and checking out our stuff. Later.
Later.
Okay, bye.